Howdy folks, and welcome back to the channel. Alright, welcome to today's adventure. So, about noon today I get a phone call from one of my movie rental brokers, and they go, hey, we need a truck for a movie video or music video. And alright, well, what you looking for? So they send me some pictures of some of the stuff that they know that I have, and for some reason they always forget about the old trusty C800. So, a little bit of backstory. This truck's been in my family for a lot of years. My dad used to drive it, used to use it to haul our tractor around and to shows and different places on the farm, whatnot. And you know, if you had to take a skip loader in and get repaired or whatever it was. So I grew up in this truck. I was a little kid, I remember 2 years old, riding in a buddy seat in the air seat, ratchet strapped in, and I was like, the one thing I looked forward to was going for a ride in the big black truck. That was hands down the best thing as a child. So naturally I took to it pretty quick that this is the truck I'm obsessed with, all growing up. By the time I was 10, my dad tells me if I can get it started, I can drive it, as long as I can reach the clutch. Well, I got it started, and much to his amazement, I also figured out how to drive it. Then came the hot laps. So anyway, long story short, to cut the skinny of it, they need this truck for a music video. Well, hopefully. So it's going through the pitch process right now. So they'll inquire, I'll send them options of what we have. They go through their list of options and they pick what they think is going to fit best. They send it off to the production company. If that's what they decide on, then all right, they'll give me a call. All right, this is what we're going to do. This is when we need it. This is how it needs to be done. Can you do it? Got it. If I can make it happen, that's when we get to this point. Well, this truck's been about a year since I drove it. I actually drove it from my old yard to here almost exactly a year ago. So it runs pretty good. It's been a little while since I've started it up. I probably run it about 9 months ago. I just threw a battery in it that I hope is hot. It's out of one of the other tractors. So we'll find out, because it's like battery roulette around here. Batteries and tires. Not such little things anymore, especially on this magnitude. You know, we'll take donations for tires and batteries. Link in the description. Anyhow, totally kidding. Anyway, well, we're gonna see if we can't get this thing fired up, and figure we do a quick video. Has an 8.2 liter Detroit diesel with a 10-speed Road Ranger transmission. Very common, you know, in the modern trucks. It has been repowered. Originally, it would have been, I believe, a 292 industrial V8 Ford gas motor. With a 5-speed trans and a 2-speed rear axle. Well, we are in luck, because it still has a 2-speed rear axle. So I have 20 forward speeds and 4 reverse speeds. So this old gal, well, that sounds like it, oh man, it must fly. Yeah, it can't even pass its own smoke cloud. But it's a hell of a lot of fun to drive. One of my absolute favorites. I drove it all through high school, and even a lot after high school, and parked it when I had to start focusing on things like making a living and raising a family. But hopefully now, well, I need to get it running for this movie rental, and you know, that always generates some more interest. So maybe I ought to get the old girl out. Maybe we'll take her out for this year's show season. Well, let's see if she's going to fire up. I've already checked all the fluids, you know, topped her all off, and this is the first time I'm going to try it. So it's been about I think about 9 months. So let's see what we can do. It's currently about 75 degrees here in Southern California. I guess high taxes pays for the sunshine. Well, here we go. I guess that was a little easier to sum up. Yeah, it's kind of cool. One thing about this old drum, many years of neglect and sitting out back and only used occasionally. little bit of, elbow grease checking the fluids and a hot battery. Let's see if we can make it drive. That red light is the low air alarm light, as well as that obnoxious buzzer. Man, that brings back some childhood memories. Old non-turbo 8.2 Detroit. Sees a hill from a mile away and says, "I give up," hoists the white flag. Still a hell of a lot of fun to drive though. Air pressure. Here we have an 8.2-liter Detroit diesel. Yeah, biggest turd they ever made. And yeah, I mean, Detroits are kind of a turd anyway, but yeah, I mean, we got a 653 that's pretty cool. And yeah, I grew up with Detroit, so I'm a little partial. But if I got to buy a truck to go to work, it's going to have a Cummins in it. Except this one, because, well, it's sentimental. So, you know what? It'll always have a Detroit. It might not always have this one. I can almost guarantee you it is not going to have this one until as soon as I find a replacement. So, anyone knows of a 653T? I am in the market. So, yeah, 653 on this thing with a, 10-speed and a small turbo on it. Get up and go pretty good. Right now, no turbo. It's NA, mechanical diesel. Nah, it's no powerhouse. It's not a torque monster. It's not a horsepower monster. It isn't even a fuel squeezer. But it is cool. So, there is that. I got a Detroit diesel and a Ford, so that's bastardized if I ever seen it. This is just a brief introduction to this one. Maybe we'll do something more on it and let us know. We need to blow this thing up, folks. I am trying to save this hobby of rescuing old rusty iron. So, here's what I need you to do. I need you to like and subscribe, share with your friends. Let's do everything we can to spread the word. And by all means, folks, if you see something you want me to do an exclusive on, let me know. I'm all ears. I am trying to make this thing go, and the main reason is let's preserve this history. Anyhow, thank you for tuning in, guys. We'll see you soon.